Alright, what's up? I too read this book that everybody has read. Here's the title page. You don't need to, there's nothing there. Next slide, please. Okay, I have to give you guys a disclaimer. I did not finish the book. I only read up to page 188. That's because I was assigned this book by Drew on December 29th. Which was also the same day I got a notice from my landlord that my rent was going up. So I did have to find another apartment. So that's what I've been doing for the last few weeks. I also, as you can see, ate a bunch of quiches from Costco. Okay, next slide. All right, so as mentioned earlier in Drew's in-between banter, there is a bit of sexual tension in that little passage. I also caught that. So my presentation is about the missing parts of this book that we were not given. Did Julie Taymor and Glen Berger fuck? Next slide, please. Yes, they did. And I will prove it to you. I believe there's another version of this manuscript that was edited down, and I will show you what I believe that is by reading you guys some excerpts. Okay, next slide. So this is the first time Glen sees Taymor. He says, on May 15th, 2005, when Julie and I rendezvoused at her upstate New York country house to dive into the story, we didn't take a break. If we did, I don't remember it. What I remember was how I kept staring at my new co-writer. She was mesmerizing, her movements, her gestures. That isn't the way you describe someone who's suing you. I think it's the way you describe an ex-lover who you still have fond memories about. Okay, next slide, please. So in the book, Glen Berger mentions early on that when he starts working with Julie, he talks to her lawyer, and her lawyer says, whatever you do, whatever happens, stick with Julie. Then and there, I decided to follow his advice. So here's what I think he actually wrote. Next slide, please. Whatever you do, whatever happens, please stick it in Julie. And by it, I mean penis. I think her lawyer was giving him the advice to please stick his penis in Julie. Next slide, please. All right, so here's the next quote. I think, this one we already talked about, so I don't have to read it, but it's the same bizarre quote at the airport that Drew pointed out. Here's what I think was missing. Next slide, please. Oh, it's all good. Okay. As you can tell, the red is what I filled in. Okay. The next morning, huddling alone over a free scrap of bread in the Delta Business Lounge, horny for real food or pussy, waiting for my flight home, I felt, what the? Was my dick hard? Yes, it was. A pair of hands sliding down my chest from behind, then lower towards my throbbing bulge that was begging for her touch inside my size 36 Gap outlet relaxed fit jeans. But I pushed her hand away and said, Julie, we can't. Not here. Not now. But it was too late. I had come inside my Massimo briefs, and she exhaled, removing her hand from my now soggy, limp member. And now something was on the back of my neck. It was nuzzling. It was Julie. Okay, so I filled it in for you. You guys, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the conference. All right, next slide, please. It continues. This theme continues. Same part of the book. She held my head in her hands. We've read this part already. Okay, this part we haven't read yet. We'll be working on a lot of things together, she promised in a whisper. My flight was called. I walked to my gate with cotton fluff for a brain and 2 pieces of artificially flavored licorice for legs. The rest of the journey passed in a fog. Page 43, you can cite it. This is actually in the book. I didn't change this. Okay, next slide. This is what I think he actually said. We'll be coming on a lot of things together, she promised in a whisper. Okay, you guys get it? Next slide. Okay, great. So this is the moment I think that they did fuck, because that was like a little, teaser, little over the jeans hand job. But I think this is when they fucked. Okay, so this is what his book says. I feel old, she reported. Old. She had just been presiding over 15 hours of design meetings without a break. I was feeling like one of those small dried fish. Again, this is what he wrote. Okay. Dried fish in a Chinatown barrel of small dried fish. What is that? I've never seen that. But Julie, she was looking fine. When it came to art with a capital A, she had the stamina of a washing machine. Are they known for, I think they just go for as long as you set them for. She was wearing a ridiculous knit hat from Peru or Tibet, okay, drinking a can of Foster's, and keeping me up trying to nail down a way to end the show, trying to find a way around our technical obstacles. It was 4 a.m. and that's page 78. Again, a lot of tension here, a lot of weird choice of words, I think. So here's what I think he actually wrote that was edited down. Next slide. I feel old, she reported. Old. She had just been presiding over 15 hours of design meetings without a break. I was feeling like one of those small dried fish in a Chinatown barrel of small dried fish. And by dry, I mean my penis was dry because it hadn't been inside anything wet in weeks, nay months. But Julie, she was looking fine, her supple breasts poking out from her cashmere sweater and her shiny gossamer lips pouting like an improviser getting cut from heroin night. When it came to art, and by art I mean fucking, I let my mind imagine that she had the stamina of a washing machine. She was wearing a ridiculous knit hat from Peru or Tibet, drinking a can of Foster's and keeping my dick up, trying to nail down a way to end the show while we fought our urges to nail down each other, trying to find a way around our technical obstacles. Like, what if I came too quick again? Should I take a Viagra? It was 4 a.m. Okay, next slide. Oh, this is the same scene. Okay, I broke it up in two. So this is actually what he wrote in the book. What is it you want to see, she asked me, circling back to the question of Arachne's transformation. Well, but seriously, it was 4 a.m., that's page 78. Okay, so this is where I think they obviously fucked, because why tell us the time, why was she drinking? So I filled it in for you guys. Next slide. What is it you want to see, she asked me, unbuttoning that sweater and exposing her bare breasts, circling her nipples with her forefinger and thumb, taunting me with her raw femininity. My tits, my ass, my pussy. She started to lift her skirt up, showing me all of her. I tried to focus on the task at hand, steering the conversation back to the question of Arachne's transformation. Well, I looked away, unable to bear it. But seriously, it was 4 a.m., and I was rock hard. So I pulled off my NYU basketball shorts, the only thing I could afford to wear because of how much this show was draining my finances, and gave in to my natural urges. I ravaged her sexy body with my rod. There was no time to take my shirt off. I Winnie the Pooh the damn thing. As our bodies became one and I neared climax, I screamed, I'm fucking the director of the Broadway adaptation of Disney's The Lion King! We finished at the same time. Good boy, she said, and patted me on the head. She was still holding the can of Foster's in her hand. Okay, next slide. So clearly this is really what happened, as you guys can tell. Here he is later on. This is why I think they did fuck, because he gets very defensive of her later when someone shits on her. He's reading a review and he goes, never met a budget she didn't blow right past. Come on! Okay, so he's like very angry at someone shitting on her. Here's what I think he actually said. Come on! He didn't know her like I did. He didn't know the real Julie. How sweet, how kind, how sexy she was. These words spurned an anger in my heart, and I wanted to protect my darling queen. Okay, so that makes more sense. Why is he defending this woman suing him? Next slide, please. Here's a couple of quotes where he gets jealous in the book for no reason about Julie giving attention to other people. I won't read them all, but you can see. So he's mad at Julie giving attention to Reeve, who's the main Peter Parker actor, and then at the end she says, she gave Bono a kiss, and in that kiss there was nothing but love. Okay, weird. Next slide. Here's what he really meant. Okay, as Julie recalled later, he was the only one who auditioned for the role who convinced her that he believed in love. In quotes, what does that mean? The word stung. What did we have if not love? I loved her, but it wasn't enough. It would not be enough, as I would come to learn. Next, Reeve, I just love you, Julie blurted out one day, right in front of me, after Reeve fumbled with particularly charm through an early scene with Jen. How cruel she could be sometimes. Finally, she gave Bono a kiss, and in that kiss there was nothing but love. Did Bono cuck me? What did he have that I didn't? Again, he thinks he's equal to Bono. Okay, this is the final quote. This was the promise, so this is towards the end of the book, or towards the end where I read up to, which is not the end of the book. I didn't finish the book. This is what he said. My shirts were getting holes in them, but I didn't have the funds to replace them. He talks a lot about how he's very poor. He wants you to know that he's not making any money from selling this book. It was driving Julie to distraction, and one day she slinked up to me, jabbed her hand into one of the holes, and yanked down until half my shirt was in shreds, but I kept wearing the shirt anyways. But promise me when we open, said Julie, when you're rich, I'll buy a raft of shirts, I promise. That's page 151, that is what Glen wrote. Okay, so this is the scene filled in. My shirts were getting holes in them, but I didn't have the funds to replace them. And besides, Julie had begun slipping me wads of cash in return for sexual favors. Our relationship had quickly devolved from passionate lovemaking to transactional necessity. It was driving Julie to distraction. And one day she slinked up to me, jabbed her hand into one of the holes, the one in my butt, and just like that, the fire was back. As my legs shook below me in pleasure, I yanked down until half my shirt was in shreds. But I kept wearing the shirt anyways, because it reminded me of having sex with Julie. But promise me when we open, said Julie, when you're rich and you don't need my money anymore, promise that you will still come for me. Also promise me you will leave your wife and kids and dog Crumby for me. Promise me, spoiler alert, Crumby dies, we know that. I'll buy a raft of shirts which I'll mold into a replica of your body so that I might have you with me at all times when you are not by my side. It will give me the strength to leave my wife and kids and my dog Crumby, I promise. Okay, so as you guys can tell, I filled in the blanks for you. Clearly, he wrote this book because he wants to get our attention. If you guys have seen the movie A Portrait of a Lady on Fire, that's what she does. Okay, nobody's seen that movie. No allies in here. Okay, great. All right, so in conclusion, I do think that they did fuck, and here's a picture of her kissing Bono. I don't know for sure, but I think this might be his hand, and that's him being cucked by Bono. Okay, thank you guys so much.